Good evening to our wonderful audience out there watching. This is Gambian Talents TV once again. I'm joined by, Honorable Ebrima Ceesay, United Democratic Party Convoy's chair, who has always been here, but lately, we've missed him. And then today he actually showed up to actually shed some light on the current happenings in the country. Of course, we'll talk about politics, the Gala with the government of the Gambia, or the Gambia Police Force, and a lot of pertinent issues going in the country. Of course, the commission has been on the headlines for the longest of time, especially with KMT and even all the other local, councils and all that. We'll also talk about the United Democratic Party flag bearer issue, which is currently, dominating all the headlines in the country. And also, his, development since he assumed office as the, chair, United Democratic Party chair in Combo East. What are some of the projects he has actually worked on, and what are his future projects, that actually he's gearing to actually work prior to 2026, because as we all know, 2026 will be heading to the polls in Salah Rabbi. Ebrima, Honorable Ebrima Ceesay kaftama bi fana nabe kachala kule mbedending politiko la UDP la flag biara kuwenye bawo na hakilo bakandrong ngakuja miyala ngabo mfamata kaja UDP la kuwenye kona ka application ol bit kay bondi manam pour mobe la fo itandi la fekk la man sayade wala flag bi ara ngaji jamali la la fo itandi abi wol kono UDP la ke ba fo min keta usen dabot ya la fo itandi la Talib la aning lamin je dabot ndoko tamale ko be la fo nyingi tandi le mbedi udiam lo ku jamal aning fanam protection mi ala ka fo ka be kering Gala ning nying Pura la ko nying aning ku jamal mi ala ka fo ko le be kering banko kan aning nakaroli ko mi ko wala ka fo long corruption ri ikabe sabata nyim banko kan andu mbedi am la nyum ko mi Ebrima ke jiya ke welcome Gambian Talents TV. Thank you for actually granting us this interview once again.
Thank you so much, Mudu. Thank you so much, and then I am very happy to be back here today, because we've been here in the other days, but it's been long, I can say.
Most definitely.
So we are back today to discuss on issues that is, in the public domain. People are talking about it,
Absolutely.
And then also it concerns everybody in the Gambia. So I am happy, I am glad, and then thank you. I'm here.
Great. To start with, we're actually gonna be very, diverse in the topic. In the discussion, we're not going to speak English here, but you look have to work with Mandinka listeners.
Of course.
Exactly. Well, most folks probably can't hear English and all that.
Yeah.
To start with, it's been now a year or so since you assumed the office of being the Combo East District Chair on the UDP ticket. How has that thing been going, and what are some of the latest projects you've actually worked on in the district so far?
Alhamdulillah, thank God for this question. Combo East, we have assumed to the chairmanship role almost since our then chairman left to join MPP, and then since I took over, I have been working so hard with my executive members, and then the Combo is generally to make sure that we do what is right, both in terms of human development, structural infrastructural development, and then to also develop our political basis in Combo East. So that's what we have been doing. And then when you come to the other things that we are doing, particularly our councillor, who is Honorable Lamin Diba, he's definitely doing a lot when it comes to whatever he gets from the council to deliver to the people. You can recall there was a time, the council disbursed about 500,000 to each ward councillors, and then again to about another 1 million to each ward councillors, and some other wards are have also benefited from geology fund, which is different from council's disbursement funds. So all of that, particularly Honorable Lamin Diba, who is our councillor, I can say, UDP councillor, councillor representing the whole of Pura ward in council. They have been doing tremendously well, like he definitely helped to improve Kuloro Health Center. Kuloro have a health center, but it was dormant. It was because coming to the structures, coming to the medications, and every other thing. A lot of things were definitely deteriorated, and then that had affected the health activity in Kuloro. So that's why when he got that chance, then he said, then let me give this to Kuloro as they need it. And then not only Kuloro today is benefiting from that. All the catchment areas around Kuloro, are all benefiting from this. Could you imagine people coming from all the way from Brikama, from Serkundanding, coming to Kuloro to have their treatments? So that was a very, very good achievement that Honorable Lamin Deba scored in Kuloro. And not only that, it helped Bonto also to supply them some of the electrical poles, to get to areas that were not having electrical supply. And today that is done. And when you come to Pura, and the same thing they have done for especially their football field, which was was echoing in the mouths of the youths. We won this, we won that, and finally he had delivered that to them. So a lot of that is happening. And when you come to some other parts in Kombo East, like in Faraba, they also want a gardening, so which we are working on, so that we can be able to help them get it as other areas. And just recently, very recent, just last week, I am was engaging one of my colleagues to make sure that these women gardeners also, most of these women gardeners, the gardens that they are using is not having fence, it's not properly fenced, so animals will be disturbing them when they put their crops, whatever they planted in there. Animals will come and destroy everything for them. So we've made some plans to make sure that we address that one as well, so that they can also be able to continue with their farming, because they are generating a lot from it. Taking care of their students' school fees, helping their husbands, and then a lot more. Yeah,
great. That's quite. It's quite incredible. That's what we actually expected of him, folks representing at the higher level down there. So I actually commended him. Just yesterday, also he actually delivered some sets of jerseys, footballs, and then goalpost nets to some youths in Kombo East. I think Deba is absolutely doing great, and then people have actually recognized his efforts. So we actually implore him to do more. He's there for the people, by the way.
Of course,
exactly.
Yes, definitely.
Yes. Now, coming down to Brikama, we got to start with your own region. Yankuba Darboe. Since he assumed office, many people hailed him for the good work he has been doing and all that. Especially when it comes to the drainage system. But in fact, before that, the 500,000 allocation to all the ward council members in Brikama, which has probably never happened in the history of the council. I think it helped so many villages, and all that. But now, as someone based in West Coast region, how would you describe Young's BAC under Yankuba's leadership?
That definitely Chairman Yankuba is doing well, because when you come to that of Brikama, especially in their market, the drainage system, and then going to their Darboe Johnson, and then all of that, he made sure that the drainage system is reconstructed, because the system is there, the drainage channel is there, but it was all filled and congested by deities. So they have to come and then excavate that once more again to remove all of that and to concrete it once more to get it better for water to flow properly. And then you will see eventually when that happens, in the market where plenty water or flood will occur, you'll see now this year that is not happening.
Absolutely.
Because the drainage system is been cleared, and then water is running fast to move out.
Exactly. Yeah, that's very important. I think it's one of the reasons that many people are saying after Yankuba in Mansard, I had many women in the market who say Yankuba Koteng, those people, even if the constitution said, they will tell Hani Yankuba Koteng, I used to enjoy them during that. Operation Clear the Road. You have so many classes.
Exactly. You can see, they trusted him because what he wanted to deliver to the people, everybody have realized that.
Yeah.
So in order to help him do that for us and do that for the women, so they also have to give him that moral support.
Absolutely.
So that they can be able to achieve what he definitely desired for them.
Exactly.
And then that's why it was a collective, collective move. So when Yankee is there with the team, and then the women also they are also standing and then giving him and then the entire team the moral support. So that was it basically, and that have helped them to be able to do what they have done so far today.
Great.
Yes.
Yes. Now we'll come down to the local government commission of inquiry, where we have a lot of corruption allegations, a lot of mismanagement of funds, abuse of public office and all that. But in the first place, what do you make of the setup of the commission itself? Do you think it's necessary or not? Or do you think it's more of wasting public funds? Or what is your overall view about the commission itself before we delve much into the nitty-gritty of the dealings of the commission?
Commission, honestly, is very important. And then the commission is a commission where whoever is following will definitely know it's a learning center for us, right? For any person that is holding a public office right now, it should be a learning point for everybody. Absolutely. Because we have seen a lot of commissions here. You understand? But a particular one like this one, this local government commission, because local government are the authorities that have direct, close contact with the community.
Absolutely.
So you will see they have to call for a commission being set up to investigate or to look into the dealings of local government authorities. That was very important. And then if you look at the trend it is going, it have made a lot of revelations, what had happened, people have learned the mistakes, the mistakes that everybody have to learn to make sure you address that. You understand? So that as a public office, public officials, you will be able to, deliver what is exactly expected of you. Yeah.
Yes, good. We had we have alleged a lot of missing millions in the council that could have actually boosted the development of a council, starting from the BAC, and then under the leadership of Sirifo Sonko, and then you come to KMC. There are a lot of allegations that corruption has been going there, even though of lately we've seen some Talib, who has also been in the epicenter, had a very, very heated session with the but then what he actually was accounted for has probably amounted to around 100 something thousand dollars, which is actually a cent compared to what other people have been accused of probably not managing the funds as supposed to be managed. Now, in essence, it is correct to say a lot of corruption has been going on in our local government council, right? And it's the same local government councils that probably at some point wanted to hold the central government to account. What do you make of these things?
Is quite obvious. A lot of millions went missing, and then a lot of millions were misappropriated, and then it affected the council and the general public.
Absolutely.
When you come to commissions like councils like Brikama Area Council, especially under Sirifo Sonko, there were millions of funds that were misappropriated and then nowhere to be accounted for, misused.
Especially with the geology fund.
Especially I will come to that. You will see the finance director and then the CEO of the then Brikama Area Council, they are using Sirifo Sonko's illiterate, to loot council.
Wow.
You understand? Even Sirifo himself, if you see his appearance at the council, he cannot even defend what was, how to call, this was used and why it was used for that.
Wow.
You understand? And especially when you come to the 33 million, geology fund alone. So that means, how to call, Brikama Area Council was blessed to have geology funds, but were used personally to enrich themselves or to do certain things for at the benefit of their own family and then their own self and their own well-being. But when you come to the entire population of West Coast, it doesn't yield anything there.
Wow.
It doesn't provide them anything. And then look at it, 33 million, it is just not a, $33 or 33,000. One time, Brikama Area Council was suffering to even pay their staffs on the Silfo.
Yeah, we had that.
They were suffering to pay their staff. And then when they are having a lot of these funds, to be able to use it properly, wisely, to generate even more funds, to take care of their staffs, to take care of some other basic needs, that will change and then have very lasting impact on the people of West Coast. So honestly, it was so disappointing, at the side, from the side of the chairman and then the finance director, the CEO, they all contributed into that mess. They could have avoided that. They have all means to avoid it, but they choose to squander it.
Well, deliberately.
Yeah.
I think it's probably maybe the government of the Gambia, one may say they're not serious about, prosecuting folks found wanting in corruption.
Yeah, that has also played another significant role, because the government, is just sympathetic,
Wow.
It's so sad that, the government does not take corruptions
Seriously.
and accountability process seriously.
Wow.
You understand? If government, number one, the government itself, within the government, take care of the corruptions and accountability mechanisms to make sure everything that government is spending that need to go back to the people, it is rightly done.
Wow.
You understand? And if all of us out there sitting looking at the government, doing that channel, following that trend, doing the right thing, then those watching will also fear.
Yeah. Yeah.
They will also fear. So if government fail to take care of what they need to take care of, then all the other people at far will be looking at them and they will also follow the same steps.
Emulate them.
Yes, they will emulate them.
Exactly. And also the issue with the local governments, we have all these local governments have their manuals, sort of a document that actually stipulates as to how they would actually run their respective councils, which is actually not in line with the National Audit Act or Audit Act, constituted by the Constitution of the Gambia and all that. And that should be the supreme document that all councils would probably use to govern themselves. But then it's okay to have a manual sometimes, but then don't you think these two documents, they definitely conflict with each other, because the other one is bounded by law and the other one is set up by folks that think is the right way to actually govern the council?
That's true. We have a lot of policies. We have a lot of manuals to guide the processes. But the most important thing is the act of the Local Government Act. That's the most important thing there. The financial manual is helping them to manage their finance in line with the law. But that will not supersede the Local Government Act. Because if we go back to our constitution, which is the supreme law, and is this supreme law that stipulate the hierarchy of the laws of the Gambia. You understand?
Yes.
When you look at the legal system of the Gambia, the Constitution of the Gambia, Section 7 of the Constitution provides all these laws of the Gambia. You understand? It tells us which one is a law, which one is not the law. And then Act come, number one, or Act comes in first place. When you have the act enacted by the National Assembly, there is no other guide or policy or whatever manual you have that will supersede the act. Yeah, is in as much the act also cannot supersede the Constitution.
Absolutely.
You understand? Yes. So when they have the act, they should all be guided by the act. You see, let us all understand this. Gambia was one of the Gambia was having one of the best Local Government Act.
Okay.
Gambia was having one of the best local government act. When they were trying to, before they enact the local government act, back in 2002, they consulted a lot of African countries that have benefited very well in accordance with the act they have in their countries. You understand? And then Gambia have made case studies of that, and they came up with a very brilliant local government act. But this local government act was then butchered by the then President Yahya Jammeh.
Okay.
Because yes, he was using local government authorities to sponsor himself, coming to his his development areas, and then coming to his own uplifting of his political capacity and political basis. He was using local government areas to sponsor or finance his activities. You understand? But when he tried to help do that, there will be a clause or a provision in the Local Government Act that will stop him.
Okay.
You understand? Yeah. So he will have to take the Local Government Act back to the Assembly for amendment.
Modified and all that, yeah.
You understand? So Local Government Act itself have suffered a lot of amendments. Okay. That's why today it doesn't, it appears it doesn't suit the taste of what we actually want, because it has been butchered several times, several amendments only to help one person who was the then President Yahya Jammeh. You understand? And we all suffered that today because of his actions.
Absolutely.
You understand? And then this current government also, they should have looked into that in their reform agendas, because there were reform agendas that were in place.
Oh yes.
They should have looked into all of these issues in their reform agendas to take care of and address these issues. But they didn't take care of that because they also want to use the same system to enrich their political base. And that's why Sirifo Sonko also was affected in Brikama Area Council, because at that time MPP was not having capital base, financial capital to help themselves stand strong. They were using Sirifo Sonko as well to be able to sponsor them. And
you come to find out, I mean, the CEOs are even given more powers than probably the mayors and the chairmen.
Also it affects that, because if you look at you cannot say ministers supposed to be overshadow the president.
No, really.
You cannot give powers to minister that will definitely disregard the president's role.
Exactly.
You understand? Right. So when you come to local government authorities, the council, they also drive their authority from people. It is people that voted them to go and sit there, steer the affairs of the council, and for every person to realize what is definitely working in there. All of us have to benefit from that, irrespective of which area council or administrative area you are. You understand? When they did that, it shows collision between the mayor and chairman with the CEOs. That's why sometimes CEOs will say they will not do this, and then the chairman or the mayors will not.
Martin Sonko and then Talib in KMC here.
Of course. And then what did they end up doing? They end up breaking into KMC to forcefully reinstate back the CEO. And if it was the court's injunction that had to stop them, what you are doing, it wasn't right. And when the matter went to the court, the matter was ruled in the favor of the council. That what was done, it was injustice. It shouldn't have been done that way. So you can see how we should be serious in addressing our laws to take care of our issues. We cannot take our laws in our own hand, but we cannot also build our own, enact our laws in a way to only come back and then diffuse things within the structures that we have already instituted. It cannot work that way. So we must have a law that will be binding in a straightforward, but it cannot be binding and conflicting somewhere else.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good. And also now we have to dive into Mandinka a little bit. We've been speaking English for too long now. Ngaje ko bidding local government council bidding Talib apiata. Jamal koko in fact your Talib ke multi-mayalanka treatment min di Talib la modi mo Jamal, especially from the Democratic Party, because UDP mo Jamal apiata commissioner roje. Bari your support min di Talib la. e mo support di ododola damal ko because of niajive iko ni mu Talib la kabudu molleti they are trying to probably ka Talib blonde pour asike mansate nyamino so hanin Talib betti nyaaro ko walla ma ke people will still defend behind him but do na raka nyin kala fanke ko Talib mu UDP di ngolti ani UDP di ngol be nyanta kayana jele nek na ba nyama so ni UDP di ndol ta commission de e mo support minister je why would Talib get that significant support what is your opinion on that?
One thing I will make sure I will make it clear first that Talib mu UDP dingoleti. All right? UDP call from a Talib tanang, in Aidoku okay, free for the bila. So coming back to the article, the commission, Talib among modu treat anyhow, ye Talib treat another way. It doesn't happen that way.
Among support Mindi will they can Talib.
Yeah, think article some also let's be frank because UDP fana, to be quite honest with you, and then it was even on public domain, medias have picked it. When the commission on Lola, they were targeting UDP members, particularly Talib. This was said.
Do you believe that?
To a certain point, I can believe that.
What makes you believe that? But commissioner local government and all that.
Very good. That was the best part of it, and nobody can dispute that. That is actually the truth. But also, when you look at the trend of the commission, sometime you will also think that they also want to push Talib to do something or to accept doing into something, whereas he has no hand. That's why when you look at the lead council and then the Talib's argument, while the Talib in lead council la nyosa bokon while maybe la interrogation on Kenya kono, ibajala ko Talib was telling the lead council ko sembo mianan ko alko fo sembo mantrantable. So kan act nying wala ko be supersede act ko Talib idanda janneto me yo danda janneto act wala itandi act ya tandi la fanan ko siyo ita danda janneto bare isa nyin fanan keno so you can see.
Yeah, but
you understand? So what debate samana? So we feel then we have to also give Talib that moral support to be able to give. But let me tell you, Talib a local government acting from Fahamle. He was not trying to involve himself into issues that will later have consequences on his actions.
Yeah, but well before, because since his first appearance, that the support he had, he garnered, compared to all the folks that appeared at the commission, it's quite different. Because nobody would actually thought we would have that probably long, argument or let's say interrogation as you call it. With the lead council. But in Ajako, Talib he's given a special treatment from UDP folks.
Of course, he definitely needs special treatment because we want to give him that moral support.
What is so special about him compared to other folks that appeared before him?
Because I had to call whether coming from the side of the government or coming from the side of other members, they think that what was said about the Birkama area council, the missing millions, will be the same thing in the KMC, and it happened to happen in a contrary.
But regardless, there has been mismanagement of funds there.
Yeah, that is true. There was some misappropriations, but there is no human who is fallible. There is no one who is perfect.
Absolutely.
All of us can make human errors, but you cannot keep staying on your errors every day at work. You still follow the same error until you waste millions of our funds. Yeah. So that cannot be grounded. It cannot have come with any excuse.
I think the chair actually hailed him for doing a good job in council.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Talib have set precedents that currently all the local government authorities are benefiting from. Because when Talib came in 2018 with all the other members across the country, they were having some issues, serious problems. When whatever they want to do, they will have collision there and there. Have here, have there. So that's why he ended up following due process. He ended up going back to the court for remedies. And then you can, even at the commission, you can hear what the commissioners were, what he was giving to the commissioners for evidence. You understand? And all those evidence were accepted by commission, and then we are given article, we are booked for any future references in terms of their reports.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes. Now we're still within KMC. The issue of the Gala boys, the protests amid Pura's, price control of, megabytes, or trying to control GSMs, as many would say, they're trying to protect the GSMs than the consumers. And when you look at it in a broader perspective, really consumers, in fact, pay more money to these GSM operators. It's because of us they've been operating. But now if Pura in turn think that they are protecting the citizens or the consumers while they're supporting the GSMs even better, it brings that conflict that few youths who call themselves Gambians against looted assets in collaboration with Gomsa Bopa and then stay as the police would say, an unlawful assembly or protest to actually, denounce Pura's move. We've seen some of them have been arrested, taken to custody or remand, and some also taken to other police stations. What is your overall view about the entire brouhaha between the Pura Tengi, the police trying to use the public order act to actually get rid of the boys and all that?
Yeah, I have to call. For now, the Gala team, of course, before there were a few members or few group of people, but now Gala is no more few. Yeah, Gala has grown, and then they have strength all over the country because they make sure that they work on their base, and which they did. You understand? And then for me, I am looking at Gala as an institution that needs to hold government accountable. You understand? And then for so far, that's the trend they are working on. They have not been, to me, that's my general observation, they have not been biased since they named themselves Gambians against looted asset, Gala. And then you can see there are other, concerned Gambians that have also established their groups and then joined Gala to even stage this recent protest. You understand? The saddest part, the government does not have any money to sustain whatever they are doing. Wow. The government don't have any resources now that they are relying on to help themselves. That's why government does not even bother themselves too much in the when the director of Pura released that price flow of credit. Let me tell you right now, if you want to have good amount of credit, at least a fair one, which you can probably use for, let's say, 1 week, some days, or nearly to 2 weeks, you need to pay $600 to get a megabyte, which is very unfair. You understand? Or you can buy $250, then it lasts for, it gives you maybe 500 megabyte, and it lasts for maybe 4 days, 5 days, and it is gone. Which is very unfair. And then how many Gambians can, let's come to the lowest price, let's say $100 every day. How many Gambians can afford to buy credit $100 every day just to be able to, do your daily life, your daily communications? You understand? Much more, you are telling that person the best communication you deserve to have. You have to buy, let's say, $600 or $250 above. How many people, in their breakfast, in their lunch, in their dinner time, their daily meals, how many of them, each one of these, will spend for only, let's say, $100, which is the cheapest price of the credit, $100, and you are satisfied with your family? Not one of them.
Not really.
And now you have to spend, let's say, each daily meal, you can spend nothing less than $500 or more to satisfy yourself and your siblings. Yeah. You understand? And now you are telling those people, don't buy your daily meal, go and buy credit, and you let the money come to the government. And what is the government doing for the people? Wow. Government is absolutely doing nothing for the people. So that's why the Gala, feel this on a moral basis, on a moral ground, that look, we have to go to Pura. We don't need a mic. We don't need a permit, or we don't need this. Let's go to Pura. Let's stand at their office front and tell them, Pura, we are disappointed, and we feel we have to come here. You help us. So that you can rescind the decision that you've made.
So you think they should actually reverse some decision?
Of course, they have to reverse it. How many of us can provide $600 a day for their 3 daily meals?
It's crazy though.
It's crazy. When in the breakfast alone, you spend over 300, 400. Some families only breakfast. The lunch alone, some people spend more than 600, 700.
Yeah, but
the dinner time it comes. So now all of this amount put together, if you look at it and the lunch sum, you can say in a particular day, let's assume it's $500. Sorry, $1,500. Now you are telling people you owe that $1,500. Take 600 from it and put it to the credit, and let it come to the government, which is very unfair.
Well, I know other people that use $100 for breakfast. Each one of them. Anyway,
of course. When you go out, to get the breakfast, you need to spend nothing less than $100. That's just an individual. That's not a family. That's just an individual. He left the family at home, and he or she is going for her normal businesses. But then he or she need to buy breakfast.
Okay.
You understand? You alone have to spend $100. And how much are you going to give to your family before you leave?
It's crazy anyway. Now ngatenteng nyato demanding Pura nkumu akala disino nyali reverse ali ajize molula. But now in fact jama coming for Pura for kununku ne but Pura bijam for the longest of time they've never talked about this thing, but bring GSM money la nyim promotional nim kono nana tek then Pura fana findi tan bam with that pressure ka ka call muta kefaling dol ko nim ko Pura like lafta gameno la battle at some point pour ko di jama gena bondi to make sure government get more money so and all that. So because the more you have more credits and the more this GSM will probably pay more tax to the government.
Of course. So that is it. That's the whole idea, in fact. You understand? Pura, I will not say they are dormant, but if you look at with regards to the public view about Pura, then I can say they are dormant. Because most of the people don't hear about Pura. They know Pura exists. Most of the Gambians know Pura exists. You understand? But they don't have that daily rapport with Pura, or how to call communication with Pura, or hearing something from Pura, or getting to feel something that is done by Pura.
In a sense, most Gambians don't feel their presence.
They don't feel their presence. No. How many? I can remember some years back, Gambians were complaining. Exactly, when Gambians were complaining about NAWEC, they are complaining about even the GSMs. Whereby how to call GSMs are requesting more to buy credit, and their network is not stable. People are complaining that for Pura to help them regulate that. Wow. And then up to date, Pura haven't regulated our network issue with the GSMs. Wow. You understand? You buy more credit, and your credit will just be running like that without being satisfied what you need from them.
That's quite unfortunate.
You can be on calls like all the GSMs. You can be. I have almost all the GSMs numbers. You can be on call, and then you will see your call will just drop, wow. Or your call will just fluctuate, or your call will just go straight away on the mute. While your credit is going, and you are still only be there. Hello. You're trying to talk, but say, look. What is happening in my network? What is happening in my network? So the more you stay there,
they are phone speakers.
Exactly. The more you stayed, the more your credit is going, and the more your issues are not solved.
Yeah.
So you understand, and you will have to put that call down and call back again. So yet you are still using the credit.
Yeah.
So definitely, what Pura have done, it is very unfair, and it is not helping us as citizens. They have to definitely rescind their idea. And then recently, I think government have taxed some few people to look into the issue. But you see, all of this selection of committees to address issues, it is very irrelevant. It doesn't have any issue and benefit on people. Look, government, you have the authority. Tell them, look, what have you done? The Pura director, come here. Pura management, come here, we sit, and then this is a one-day thing. You can discuss, this is the lapses, this is the lapses. You settle it, and you all go back. Wow. But you need to select a committee to look into that. Before the findings will come, it takes us 3 months.
Wow.
And then the Gala, the protest that it doesn't have any significant improvement on that and all of that, because what they are saying, we have to call tax force committee to look into the issue.
And then now the issue of, I mean, many Gambians said, in fact, this government, is really taking, has citizens for a ride. Some may say, Joguba, who is currently the director of Pura, has been banned by the Jane Commission when they get the recommendation that he should be banned for life, not working in government. And now that they brought him to actually be the director at Pura, don't you think that in fact sends a strange message to Gambians?
It should definitely send strong message to Gambians, because number one, government themselves, the president and then the entire government failed on their reform agendas. Because if they succeeded on their reform agendas, this would have not in fact be the case. The reforms that they have, if they succeeded in that, this would have not been the outcome of all what we are facing today.
Absolutely.
You understand? Of course, somebody will say Joguba's ban was lifted, but before his ban would be lifted, what steps or what laws that guided you to lift Joguba's ban? This have to be another thing in question. You understand?
Sure.
You definitely need to take right channel, right procedures before you lift Joguba's ban. And then not only Joguba whose ban was lifted, Sabal's ban was lifted. You understand? But what were the steps? What were the due process that they follow? Mechanisms, the legal steps or whatever that need right channeling to lift somebody's ban. You understand? Remember, these two are not the only people barred. They are not the only people barred from public offices. I said the same thing, and a lot more other people are barred from taking a role in the public offices. You understand? So the kind of precedence you are setting, is a very bad precedence, and then it will in fact harm them, not only them, but it will in fact tempt other future government to follow suit. You understand? Because a late president, you can follow them.
Absolutely.
And if you follow them, it doesn't help the community, it doesn't help the Gambia.
Definitely.
So such a bad president should not be laid for others to follow.
Good. Now we actually wrap up the thing into that's the final third of the conversations on UDP's internal politics. As we all know, just recently we had information that 4 or 5 folks or people or UDP militants has actually submitted their application to actually become the flag bearer in the 2026 presidential election. We've seen Talib Ahmed Bensouda, who actually filed his intentions, and then we've seen Honorable Darboe and the Lyman J. Darboe, and then the list goes on. But before in fact we come to this, Yankuba Darboe, the chairman of Brikama Area Council, whom many people believe Kwafanambala Fenko filed Mansa Yanyine, but then he came openly ko ninda wala intentional ke ate wasata alhamdulillah ate manda nyine la kote. So Jamal question now, in fact, then where is the democracy that they've been preaching? Nga start what now follow, because nga mo la fanan Talib fanan audio video findita diamond yala fanan ko ning usenu lota drong ate fanan manda lo, but then nim kuma ate yala kumo ning reverse the surwal government na wahet. Now, to start with that, one may question, where is the democracy that the United Democratic has been actually bragging for ages and all that?
At the Amos Theater, Mbela Watala Nimandika Kamola, then probably.
Yeah, I would love that.
Anikuya water back, to be quite honest with you. Anikuya water Kajeko party betembo minto tenting. The Amos Theater, Nyomwe Balia Theater, Molda Moltema. Minkuma da Fakuma at Jan Wolonko, party dingo party ding, Ibe Nyando Sodola Purke letter or Safe, Ka Itandi party Nyaton Kolako, Defanam Bella Fering. Ka flag bearer kuonying wala kanta mende purungata lo manse ya nyino la UDP to yae UDP dingo be wonyanto sotole andung ye lual min lande wala simfanya min lande purunyin kamala molso simfanya jibe na do simfanya ye min lande wasartoli min lande ni wo mete mantora wala wo mete bali pour ka ile letaro sa fe nyin kamala ni nata ke moti mimba gagner la kalo e baaje la ko UDP ni etamini wote sa tambi wasarto ni ol jibe yalon ko ite wasarto be timmandile isaje so simfanyata ifanele later or samba. So far intending Yankuba Darboe, Chairman Yankuba Darboe, where the intention of Tandila ko a mantra lola. But I believe Yankuba nyimman kala first intention de. Yankuba lafta lola le. Woman ke kullo kuti.
Okay.
I lafta lola le is just now I desired ko mbeste baglale for a reason best known to him.
Wow.
You understand? But let this be clear to everybody. Yankuba intended to run.
Okay, before
I've been Diamo.
Don't you think
Yankuba intended to run?
His feud with Mayor Ahmed Bensouda actually triggered him to recuse himself and then said, Bakula Usain Darboe kind and all that.
How to call Asekeno Daliloti, but if ni Tarako, Mayor la Kanunte Yate Mintandi Kombela Fla Plus Wininale, and Ate Yajeko Abitalo la Usain Komaka Usain support, Wumatela Nyantole, Wumatela Lafina Bundalet, ya family. Ntelomban Dokote number one more man na for ko Yankuba no kana lo Usainu koma. Let him support Usainu, ya family. People nte mimba diamole tending. Nte Ebrima Ceesay nte ba Lord Mayor support kan. For the flag bearer. Talib mutabo support kan.
Okay, and so, particular democratically is
you understand? So ibayela ko mo manya na fola muna batina Lord Mayor ba apply la. Modolia apply, you don't question why they apply. So you cannot question why Lord Mayor apply. And then also coming for ko ibe nyimfoloko niba usenia apply, ndeta apply la. Look, ba Usainu found number one. A telephone mistake or samana.
Like how?
Usain Darboe found a mistake or samana. Yaje itele Talib blue muta ya tamani banko be kan kai tandi molla. So you made UDP members. Wala ya tinale UDP dingole nyilan no sotoko. Talib can be the potential candidate. You understand? And Usain attending molla whether he sends and actions and how he deal with people. Ko he's not interested in 2026 flag bearer issue. You understand? I would tandil and mole oje atole ko amansula flag bearer kola. It's just recently Usain Darboe had to take the U-turn to say he is also interested in the flag bearer issue.
Wow.
You understand? So at the time, Talib Bafo can call, mantra na application or several wala mantra lola ni Usainu lota. That were tactics in a politics, and then everybody you need to have your tactic to play in politics.
Okay.
You understand? Everybody feels that if I play this tactic, it will work for me. You understand? But that doesn't mean ko I fanyala fonye. Ya family.
Kula
kusabu. Moja lota Gambia ya kumo fo ya fo kotenke. Wota banan Usain Darboe fon lota la ko abaro sanji lulu. Ay wo fole. Another korenga koko kabring folato keta ko baro sanji saba.
Yes.
Videos are viral.
Absolutely.
You understand? So the only thing is minkumata fa kumata Usain Darboe apply molia support, Talib apply molia support, Laminje Darboe apply molia support, how to call Bori Ture, Bori Esture, the lawyer, I apply, we supported Lamin NSC, Ahmad Sane, the UDP treasurer. Ibe apply almost about 11 people apply, even Suleiman Sawo.
Great.
You understand? You be apply but minkumata fa kumata momo be lola momo koma low koma ya support nila candidate will fail then we come as a one umbrella we move on but all ngamo killing support but yajele ita fulo ko mina batinal Talib ta apply la that should not be a question kafu ko bino bawa ko aba apply la ta apply la.
But should we condone the issue of wahed come inconsistency be koteng sama koteng people not take you seriously moving forward.
But let's look at the number of time in a different context. Talib I have kotenke. It is only the issue of flag bearer. In what cases again I have kotenke.
But it's a start killing
very good, but modoli jelle soto. Modoli fo jelleke.
But should that justify him to do so?
No, he believe a tactic. Yeah, article everything will come to light at the end of the day. Why why Talib had to do what he did that. You understand?
Okay.
So it has no merit, it has no ground to say he said it and he said it. They want to use that against him. And then he had applied.
Okay.
So I cannot withdraw his application. He cannot withdraw his application. Sorry, only him can withdraw his applications. And then Talib had support. I can tell you, Talib had thousands of support.
Wow, really?
Both win and outside UDP.
But
they have support. And then also people are requesting him to write. Whether he said it or he didn't say that, he should apply. People have said that.
Good. Now the issue starts when the internal fractions was taking place in the UDP, like internal future behavior. This camp belongs to Talib, this particular camp belongs to Yankuba, this particular camp belongs to, Rohi Malik Law. Jamal Natako Darboe, who is actually the leader of the Democratic Party, could have actually avoided all these things. At the very beginning, he chose someone or one of these three guys. Go, look, we all have to rally behind this guy ahead of the 2026. Then waiting for probably 2 or barely 2 years before elections to actually, I can say a year or so before elections to say, in fact, he showed interest. So if you remember, kaburu tingole kafo UDP fon be dundi nyoko na demo.
Kaburu say as a poto dundi party dundi no nyoto. Bare momo be la fla place wala. Fwe mo nyini iba fula miye. Ya family. Anu niya fo moye anadi support wakang wo mari beta refele.
Okay.
You understand? This is an internal politics, and which is very important. Internal politics everywhere. Any politics, you have internal politics.
Yeah.
Any party lon banko kanja lon banko bandalo America lon dawda be internal politics shotole. Party lon. When you come to US, for Joe Biden my internal politics play.
He did.
Internal politics play because they should have gone for primaries and all of that. Pour nyinka Malaysia la right choice tambon. But I mean for a lot of like internal political play. I mod at their model la follow the then another thing in Kaitandi Congo. Ndela for Puru, na Vice President Kamala Harris, alia support, Naita as for the flag bearer issue. You understand? That we are all internal politics. And then they also feel that, okay, fine, Joe Biden has requested this from us. I think, we can give him a chance. Despite some people don't want it.
Yeah.
It is evident that people don't want to endorse Joe Biden that decision. But they finally had to endorse it because they feel other people have supported it. You understand? So ni natana like kabul UDP kono, we should feel it's an internal politics.
But not to the extreme.
Not to the extreme. You understand? Internal politics basotolani. Yankuba al kam soto janale, Talib al kam soto, Rohi al kam soto, Usain Darboe al kam soto.
But don't you think it's quite worrying when, let's say, people from other camps trying to ridicule other people from the other camp? If one be nyo kajafila, wo fana mu mistake o dolet. Wo fana mistake o dolet because iba yelal ko ni da fay do ma dron do fana ba fala ba da fay lema. Yeah, family. To be quiet, that was unfortunate, and that should not have happened, and unfortunately that happened. So what wala nan coming for a wrong mistake or min fananketa na party leader finance shouldn't have shown people that I am stepping back. Wow.
You understand? He had shown people I'm stepping back.
The signs.
You understand? The signs are imminent, and now everybody feel okay, fine. He's going out. We go.
Wow.
You understand?
Like the main portrait that he back up and then
of course. So sometimes it's logical to say Usenu was playing his game in his mind games even kanyin dindingol kung takin ninyona. You understand? Ni ba Usen nata akoko okay fine ntemanta sila. Oh, sorry, Ndamanta Lola. Yankuba ya feel okay fine to sign in. Yankuba's right. Talib ya feel to sign in. Talib's right. Roy Malik Law. Bori Esture. Everybody they all have their right. You understand? But now, ni atarakomi ko ite mi muke bati be tema. Ni Talib lomba, Rohi lomba, Yankuba lomba, Bori lomba, Mokote lomba, in case it had a nyuma. At that juncture, yanda findila publicly because the matter was done publicly. Yanda findila you address the issue. Tell them no, nyimam betia, ntanyinkela, angam fanketa thing. So but now you want dindingol kungwe senyona, purite findia itandi mola ko dindingol mankambe wadon tela satambi kotenge.
Wow.
You understand?
Jamal Fanonko, na long then because everyone in UDP believed in Usain Darboe.
Yeah.
Despite all these young Kuanalo, but don't you think he would have maintained that energy to that level to avoid all what's happening here?
What is true? What is so evident also? What is so true right now? Olong alakotunya UDP dingol from basula ring falling on UDP dingol from imam pasala coming ko pasitala le. They don't question his party leadership. They only question to say, okay, fine, let us not go with him again for the flag bearer.
Why?
You understand? They feel it all a mirror and told Bella mirror model where they have made several attempts. Alamana Asoniandi.
Okay.
So I feel we have a candidate who we feel from left and right, center, top and up and down,
supported by all
everybody,
regardless of his
affiliation with the UDP. Everybody support it. So we feel, okay, fine. It is important we have UDP government. We don't bother about whether we have Talib as our president, Yankuba as our president, or Boris Ture as our president, or somebody else our president. What we want is UDP government we want. UDP Mansakunda and Lafawalla. And the UDP Mansakunda, I feel Momo Sodino Molla, when Anang. So when Usena had already made people to have the belief, I'm not coming, then he should have just played a fair game for us to move. Wow. You understand? And then right now, he's making his politics. He's making his politics, and then let us not talk about whether Hussein will not give up.
Wow.
He will not give up. They will go up to the last minute. Maybe people will vote him out, but he will go up to the last minute. He will contest with them. Whether he will contest with Talib, or whether he will contest with Boris Ture, whether he will contest with Darboe, or whether he will contest with his own friend Ahmad Sane, but he will have a contestant. You understand? Because only 11 people have applied. More than Ninkiwala applied. You understand? That shows
it has never happened.
It has never happened because when it comes to the issue of flag bearer kuola UDP kono, nindara form futatala jama kari woro kari lulu sifa lanka fintindi anu ninga fini amicably because abika open ikata ni afodro go kada mobe consensus mobe agree usenna so but the amo sara wado min then there should be a need go wado sitala pour sa wado nga jibero ken da mol kono you understand na bodo nan da mol kono am bona mbanta bodo nan tolle kono
absolutely
you understand so na bodo nan tol kono that's what is important and then me kuma da scientific party dingol minuli alanko wolle ke fansun dalske mo jowo and mela dépense soto
wow
but they feel party is number one. It be a $5 sol jola, it be a $100 sol jola, it be a $500 contribute la. Dol budget they pay as much as they can. You understand? To make sure that the party survives. So if I go new worker, what if I go, we have to think to those people far away there. Those in Basse, far away in Basse, those in Fatoto, those in Katong, those in other places. Okay. They need UDP Mansakunda. They don't need Kose Jumala Munyin, but they need UDP Mansakunda.
Wow.
You understand? And the thing I feel UDP Mansakunda Momo I feel UDP Mansakunda Talib Sadina. Well, and I Talib support.
Wow.
You understand? I should intend moment ranyo sabakang Facebook auto long, TikTok long, Dauda, K call Kenya so moment ranyo sabakang.
Okay.
You understand? But also people know my stand.
Wow.
You understand? Because ngajela ko ninko ko mbe yankubala mala. What merit do I have from that? What importance do I have from that? Of course. Ndata follow no ko ba useni muna neba apply la. Ndata follow no ko laminje da muna neba apply la. When I am telling Talib apply.
Wow.
You understand? I cannot tell Talib apply. Then I tell Lamja no Lamja Dabo can apply to Iboji.
Wow.
And then Laminje Dabo but party dingolet. Laminje Dabo ning mo kotengo de mundoku na no party. So bajela ko process o bitala le ni Usain na gagneta Usain tambi ni Laminje Dabo gagneta ay tambi ni Talib le gagneta ay tambi but momo koma e be confident dal ko na candidate bitala
Talib
ntek fanan confident ko Talib le bitala
so misali fi ni man Talib ta nin Talib amanna win let's say ba Usain wita pour kata parti ni lit kata presidential election jamal ko woto Talib be faras la fon na la mon dingal milliard ba ko may ta ya sokot amen munela kunna minute wala jarta wala be ba sugila Usain ko mal saintending manku soto woto man plan da woto man plan fo ka ko Talib be fintela we have zero plan for that ka fo Talib be fintela so misal fi ni ba Usain ya dan what would be your stance?
We follow ba Usain.
Okay.
We follow ba Usain. So niatra coming ko nga feel coming ko, but we only have to know the justice that is done in the process. That's that justice that is played in the primaries. That what will also determine what we do. Because hatakola niya jibe mistake jamal le sotota dulato dola folko talibu manyana apply because man ninko teng yalla wol be mu injustice leti ya family momi yalon ko from 2016 2017 moma long so who gave him the opportunity? UDP the opportunity and he delivered to the expectation. And then he came to up to this point, he had his re-election. You understand? So moment Talib dada UDP for a chance they are dada ya doku ilafala nyami.
And they want to sell it to the Gambians.
And they want to sell it to the Gambians. And the Gambians have accepted that.
Wow.
You understand? So questioning why he should apply would also be some kind of injustice towards him.
Now, many people also are saying Talib is probably one of the best candidates simply because he had rapport with everyone. And in fact, some UDP political analysts will tell you, Talib, despite the fact that he is non-Mandinka, having him would actually break the chain or the stereotypes surrounding the UDP, the Mandinka party and all that. Don't you think near Talib flag bearer will actually probably eradicate those perceptions that
Hatakola, it's just unfortunate people are still regarding him as not a Mandinka, even though his father, his father's mother, biological mother, is a Mandinka, a sister to the late President Jawara. You understand? And then coming to her mother herself. Talib have Mandinka lineage. Very, very big, Kabilo, I can say, in the Mandinka community. You understand? Right now, the Tombong Jawara in Brikama is the elderly in the Jawara family. You understand? You can see at the funeral of Talib's father, I mean for Jay. You understand? The Minkum Maya it was definitely very sad, trying to treat your own person that is not a Mandinka, even though he's a Mandinka. You understand? And then questioning him why he should apply because he's not a Mandinka. You understand? Most of the people have questioned why should he apply because of all of the contestants is only Talib that they are questioning why should he apply. So you can see some kind of missteps people are trying to do.
So in essence there are some kind of personal vendettas against
Of course. Wow. Of course, indeed.
That's rather unfortunate.
So this is a guy who definitely have served UDP very well. When you come to West Coast we were having the Sirfo Sonko, and then West Coast we were not having political base when you come to Sirfo Sonko because Sirfo Sonko had already left us. And then Sirfo Sonko was trying every best of his to make sure that he instituted NPP to the fullest in West Coast. You understand? And at that time, we are having Talib coming in West Coast, trying to also do some activities there for UDP.
Wow.
You understand? So that the base we have there, we will not have to lose the base because we don't know who will benefit or who will be the chairman, or the candidate, I can say, for UDP. And whoever happened to be the candidate for UDP for the for the Brikama area council election will probably benefit from that. Because if we don't have a base, then we have to work on the base. You understand?
But the Honorable Yanko Darboe was complaining of Talib and his camp going down there to do some donations, distribute some stuff without his acknowledgement and all that. So that's us. That's us. The names he mentioned were us. Okay.
He said there are 4 names, and I was one of the name.
Okay.
You understand? You see, we were not going there. Yaje, Talibu a family lesoto West Coast Mialonko every time akasukuro di wallale.
Okay.
You understand? So na sukuro di walla politician on nata kalimta ko Talib kasukuro dia awulu nyolla le West Coast.
Okay.
The question go Talib ite kasukuro min kamana ila family muli jang. Fo malon tol UDP ngon tol la fana ngete ke Talib ti KMC.
Okay.
Even nyando fana na sukuro di lela. So it was all a joke and it happened to be a norm for Talib.
Okay.
You understand? Ego nyanda sukuro di lan tol fana nale. Kadi da sukuro di lela wulu nyolla tol min kap carte fa yebe ka din tol la. You understand? So I feel okay fine. mba sukuro mba kafla pour modole asoro. So it was a few number of people minika sukuro so at that time.
Okay.
You understand? So all of a sudden everybody had to be requesting it.
Okay.
And you cannot say no.
Wow.
You understand? Because I have started. You cannot say no. So nisukuro naranka adilale.
Wow.
You understand? And then with due respect, it doesn't mean chairman yankuba dabota sukuro sana no afaye. Abasana no na la for bodo tambodo kema abasana le. But Talib because Talib le sukuro di chairman yankuba la landa katale because minaketa womu bunyaleti womanke kominko ateta sana no.
Wow.
Womu bunyaleti womu nyo horomoleti.
Malako som dal kana West Coast lefon albuka sarala. I mean albal Talib bal activities boran.
Talib ni yankuba Talib neneta wulila na West Coast amani yankuba komande. Sorry, KMC amani yankuba komande. Because akala fi nyinela ani yankuba nyomu jana bitala. But look, yankuba mang any right soto purka Talib stop from entering West Coast.
Yeah.
More right soto. Because Talib, we know at the party level is organizing a campaign, organizing and campaign managing team at the organizing secretariat, and then who is at the same time the head of the even campaign team.
Wow.
You understand? But I'm saying, hormone in Bunyana BJ. Now I feel cool. Bio the Nyanda West Coast, Nyanda maybe killing Kuflala. You have to call chairman. Let me inform him. He's also a party member. And then not only a mayor party member, but a party member in the executive, and also a person with that, high as a chairman. You understand?
Yeah.
So, but now I call, some Yankuba become more called.
Okay.
Ni Talib Yankuba call, Yankuba mala called. Talib bajela coming mala muna Yankuba mana called, and he keep calling.
Wow.
You understand? And every other person can say Yankuba become more called, and then mimka diamentenga for Yankuba yele. Nka ko ebi na call time never caring.
Wow.
Ako ha call le kasi an kai bare wado do call kasi ba message of fana kana nanne.
Allah number be nyobu.
Na number be nyobu. So sometimes you will not be able to see somebody's missed call, but not as always.
Yeah.
That is true. Not as always. So if I come mimbi je drong yankuba la gabiela nin Talib tema. Yankuba la gabiela nin Talib tema. Yankuba should have accept to close the gap between him and the Talib. You understand?
Talib accept.
Accept.
Wow.
Accept. And then this is why UDP, we have a critical, internal issue right now.
Wow.
You understand? Kukili biya Talib bika diamu. Ye mingo milaka nga ba fileje wole nyama ata diamula. Aneng ata diamula. Ko be fama ata diamula. Accuse ata diamula. And then all of the media outlets across the country. Jumale ba pigla ko, yina ke Talib la fela diamula. It was only, in fact, I can say it was only once, me and Uncle, when Yankuba was on, Mimbekering. And then, Taliban came across with that. He said, now we reach the limit. And then after 5 minutes or so, he had to bring it down because he felt that what I did was wrong. I should have just keep quiet and allow him to do, and then we talk. But when he did that, he felt that he was wrong. Then he had to take it out. But then already media already pick it.
Yeah, of course, the media
already pick it.
To actually pick it up anyway.
Of course. So imagine ko phone a silong and call keno nim man sing a fenket and imagine ka manelale. All what Yankuba was saying at the media, Rohikoteng. Yankuba should have been able to distinguish what was right and what was wrong. And then you can call for amicable resolution to that. Yankuba had mentioned my name on a social media, on a Pamodi member caring, without asking me whether, what your consent. Exactly. Okay. And then Yankuba himself, sent somebody to me to help him for the party flag bearer issue.
Wow.
You understand? So ni Yankuba is more keen for the party flag bearer issue, and at the end they come about saying no comma.
So is he playing mind games or?
He's definitely playing mind game, just to make sure that he stop what Talib ever he want.
Wow. That's unfortunate. But Jamal considering the Dogo in the West Coast, he can be a very good president for the Gambia. But some also tend to question his, anger issues and all that. Because Yankuba Kamfala, no man said young, but Jamal he probably have the quality. What is your assessment about Yankuba being the president?
Yeah, I call he can be a president. whether today or tomorrow, one day he can be a president, God knows. But honestly, if what people are saying that's true, if you try to, listen to people, take good advice from people, to shape himself, to be better, future president, utterances and all of that, he will be a good president. Wow. That's the only thing. Wow. That's the only thing affecting him right now. If if he's able to take care of that, he's good to go. He's a very good guy, and he can do it. But apart from that, that is haunting him, and it will continue to haunt him. Wow. Yeah.
Great. Mbadi ngol kacha flanting avid yaring avid during baringala samembe fotala amen fongolo amen tongoto bawo ko kudi mabuka jongo sitrong bari namanan tala trong amen ngani one question ngani amen pose amen honorable Ebrima Ceesay mi alan kafa atlomo combo amen UDP la combo is chair passion odije mi alan kafa ka sabatering combo is tundo kanje now that iko on the tendom announcement onyenti and then if I have ko amen one thing that will actually grant or want you people to accept the result. It has to follow due process, due diligence and all that. We just don't want to see what actually unfolded at the Brikama, the primaries due for the NPP when GC and Sirifo, Ceesay, the thing that happened there. We don't actually want to see that. How are you people gonna make so transparency in wala kulnya tani sulul mialan kafanya kata wala as far as this primaries is concerned, because ngalon ko mo jama balle ila la fo itande pour que UDP la flag bearer in the 2026 presidential election. So far mbe doko bulala select committee bulu pro yela doko nyin keno but molbe jibe kanne molbe jibe kanne kaje ko mimba ke kan abesilo la kan fada silo la kan and then so far as it stand from day one they announced ko fati flag bearer applications were open coming to today for the at the press briefing and then there is nothing like, or there is nobody who had to come in front and then say an application or send nobody contact manya na send what is mo deny mo nada rek ya feel ko ala cool team matale ya accept. So that's why we have 11 applicants and then modo sa ko but 11 applicants from Seattle 11 applicants because probably we were thinking about 3 or 4 and now we happen to have all of the 11. But the funniest thing is one man has been ridiculed, Talib.
So just as I said, he has the right to apply whether I accept it or not, whether you accept it or not, he has the right to apply. He is part of UDP and he contributed very well in UDP. Yeah. So you cannot question him, why shouldn't he apply?
But do you even think if Talib stands independently, he might get many votes that will actually take him to Marina Parade?
We will not, for now, we are not encouraging him for independent. That's why we said let the justice prevail. If justice prevail, this party is our party. And unless... then we will have to take the right decision. Have to take the right decision. Even if it requires us to write a petition again to question the merit and then the legality of the process, we will do that. Wow. Of course, if that will make sure that the right thing is done, then it requires us to write petition to say, okay, this was not right, this is not right. Wow. You understand? So that is it. Atukola, I just want to look at this. Let's look at something here. There is something important that Atukola bring it up. We have to look at it. Now, UDP as a party. We have a lot of political parties that are sitting there and quiet, watching your UDP. Understand? They are not simply quiet because they have no interest. They have an interest, that's why they are quiet. They want to know what will be the final output, what will be the results. You understand? That's why they are watching, so that they can know what to decide. You understand? So UDP, we have to be careful. Whatever we decide at the primaries will affect the entire 2026 election. You understand? And then that can give Barrow the chance to come. And let's look at this. it's unfortunate other people didn't take it seriously. That is the Sepras report.
Well,
you understand?
I think Sepras. But the most unfortunate thing is, for the past year, when they did it, a lot of folks that actually subscribe to it this time around, they distance themselves from it. Now it questions the consistency of, folks. It's crazy anyway. But
now let's see. Like for me, me particularly, I was given, I was taking Sepras, as something not important. Honestly,
wow.
Before I was not taking them as something important or something draining. You understand? But do you know where we realized Sepras, we have to listen to them? Was 2022 National Assembly election and 2023 local government election.
Yeah.
You understand? When they predicted National Assembly election, the accuracy was like, let's say 99%.
Yeah, they almost got it.
You understand? They almost get that. Or let me can say 95%.
Yeah.
And now, when you come to local government election, the same thing. And that of the local government election, it even helped us in West Coast.
Yeah.
You understand? Because Sepras make a report. And then it shows to us that UDP is doing very well in these areas. They have named the areas. And we definitely know or realize, yes, we are doing well. But now, the biggest population of West Coast, which is Combo North, we were not making some improvements there. And it was Sepras that highlighted to us that we have to be doing something good there. Otherwise, it could have affected us. We may not know, but it can reduce our voter population, down to maybe 60 or to 50.
Yeah.
And which can be a very tight contest between Chairman Darboe and Udp Ceesay. You understand? So we have to double up in the Combo North. You understand? When we double up in Combo North, because Combo North people, we are saying that, but we don't know who is Chairman, who is Darboe. Darboe's colonel didn't come here. We didn't see Darboe's picture. Things like that. So it was a vigorous campaign. We shift to Combo North. You understand? And eventually, we are able to have a significant improvement there, which later have very good article margins in our results.
Wow. And it helps.
You understand? So that's why I begin to feel, though we may not take it 100%, but we can use it as a guide.
At some point, yeah.
At some point, we can use it as a guide to see with the areas that they said we are having lapses. We can see what can we do to improve that. You understand? It doesn't mean when they say it is that, that's what they want it to stand.
Exactly.
They are telling us this is your weak point.
Yeah.
They are telling us this is your strength.
It's more of an awakening message. It's more of an awakening.
Exactly. And now let's look at this one. I know President Barrow will not want to hear this
Absolutely.
one. When you look at that of the president, he says that believe President Adam Barrow should contest for a third term. You understand? The NPP and then President Barrow, they want President Barrow to come, and President Barrow himself had made that declaration that he's coming in for the third term. He's gonna take the lead. He's gonna take the race. Article.
Yes.
He's gonna come in.
Yes.
So you understand.
Yeah.
When Tsipras investigated that, how people gonna react if he had to come back for the third term, and now the number of people that says yes and the number of people who say no and the number of people that didn't decide, undecided population is there. Now the number of people who say that Adam Barrow should contest for the third term is 35%. You understand? And also the number of people that says that no, he should not contest is 55%. You understand? So now the 55% is a very big percentage that are telling President, no, please don't come for the third term. If you come to the third term, we are saying no to you.
We will not vote for you.
You understand? It's only 35%. That is, and President Barrow and his team are using this censure to improve, to make sure that they convince people for him to come back third term.
Yeah.
Because they are not taking this lightly. That's why they are quite over it. Because they want to use it and then work on their ground. You understand? And now, if you look at it, the number of people that didn't decide is 10.
Wow.
10% didn't decide. You understand? They said maybe they don't know. Yes. But now, that means 55 people already decided. 35 people already decided. So now, if time comes, they have to all come back to this 10. And even President Barrow happened to take the whole of that 10. That does not have any affection or significant damage on the 50%. Sorry, 55%. Because 35% plus 10% is going to be 45%.
Yeah.
And still now 50% is ahead. So, and then also, let's look at this other one. How to call her? Now it says that how to call her, when you look at the how to call her, this other one, President Barrow runs in the 2026 election. Will you vote for him? You understand? Those who said no, when you come to the side of the female, those who said no, 21% said no.
They don't want President.
They don't want President Barrow. And those who did not decide, and the side of men is 5%. Didn't decide yet.
Yeah.
At the side of the female, 12% says yes, he can come.
Okay.
Now, when you come to the side of the male, 34% says no. So if you look at this, 21% and then the 34% is still the 55% that says no.
Wow.
When you combine the two.
Barrow will not be glad to read these statistics.
No, he will not be glad, but he will also be glad because he want to use this and then improve.
And then, develop his.
You understand? Especially with this unsteady, thing that is happening in the UDP, he's using this to buckle up somewhere. You understand? Because he's less distracted.
Wow.
You understand? Now let's look at this other one. Now this one says that Darboe should contest in 2026 presidential election in the gender basis. The census says 22% says how to call no in the side of the female, and then the 8% says how to call they are not desired, and then how to call 7% says yes, he should run.
Wow.
You understand? So in the side of the female, how to call 21% says no. Only 7% are saying that yes. You understand? So now when you come to how to call the side of the male, 38% are saying that he should run. Wow. Sorry, he should not run.
Okay.
38% said no. And when you come to those who said how to call undecided voters, and then those who say yes, it's 50-50 because it's 12%, 20%.
Wow.
You understand? And then now when we look at the number, total number of people that says no, Hussein should not contest is 63%.
Wow.
63% says no and 13% says yes.
But why should Gambians do that anyway?
No, maybe they feel, Hussein should give them somebody. Because that's what I said earlier. Hussein had made people believe he's not coming.
Wow.
You understand?
Okay.
Now, when you come to that of Bensouda.
Talib.
Bensouda, they said Bensouda had to call her. Talib Bensouda should run for president in 2020 regardless of a party affiliation. So that doesn't mean they are suggesting, if he goes independent. That's what they are suggesting, if he goes independent.
Okay.
How many percent? So now they are not regarding Talib under the party flag bearer issue, things like that.
Okay.
They just want to see Talib as an individual.
Wow.
So that they see what can we do. Now, and then if you look at it, 50% says yes, Talib should run.
Wow.
Whether on the UDP or whether independent or whatever, 50% says yes, he should run. And when he said that 20% says no, and then 30% didn't decide. You understand?
Yeah.
Now there are other issues. There are a lot of things. Talib with other candidates. That's why I said people like I will not certainly mention other political, but I will say most of the political parties that are quiet. They are observing what will be the outcome. What will UDP do for them? You understand? Because if you look at some of the other the percentage of other political parties, and their candidate, others are like 3% and 6%.
Wow.
It doesn't mean that's 3% and 6% remain, but it's just a survey that will have to tell every political party and every politician, this is the area probably you can improve on. This is the area you have a weak point.
But most people in UDP disregard this separate report and all that.
Of course, they disregard it because we are coming to do the flag bearer, and then the Cyprus had made a survey. They feel the survey favors Talib, and that's why not only UDP but some other people are also saying maybe it's Talib in fact paid them.
Wow.
You understand? So Cyprus, Cyprus was on iAfrica, and they made it clear to people. Wow. Their job is their job. They are not looking at who is involved. You understand? Okay. They are doing survey for Gambians to read.
Wow.
And politicians also to read. So it's not left to politicians to disregard it, or it's left to the politicians to value it.
Wow.
You understand? So if that happens, then any politician who values this, then you can work on it. Because I know, article in West Coast, it helped us there in the chairmanship race, and that's why we are able to defeat Ceesay.
Wow.
Is it Ceesay?
Yes, Ceesay.
Ceesay, sorry.
Ceesay.
Yeah, Ceesay, to that margin.
Right. That's quite important. So you should actually not disregard a surprise report. I think inconsistency has probably been the order of the day in this country of lately. So, but again, like I rightly said, is Gambian Talents TV Modlamin Job. Jalama is actually doing Bankola Ko. That comes every Saturday now. I mean, due to my busy schedules and being assigned to do other stuff, that's why I've lately been seeing on the screens. But then, since I haven't had much, work to do with the West Indies Africa Center lately, I will actually be bringing you a lot of exclusive interviews from here against October, inshallah, Rabbi. And Honorable Ceesay, before we take a leave of you, you can actually share your final message with the Gambians with regard to the, UDP primaries thing and your overall general message to the Gambian population, the president, the corruption, allegation corruption thingy, and everything needs to be addressed. You can actually have 5 or so minutes to address it here before we wrap it up.
Thank you so much, Mudu. What I'm gonna conclude is let the government help us, address the Pura issue, and then the youths also that stand on the moral ground or moral basis to say, please help us do this. They were not going there with guns. They are not going there with stones. They are not going there. They are only going there with their placards to say we need these reforms. We need this help. You understand? And then deliver it. So let there be this agreement between government and then the Gambians in terms of the development of this country, because it's only us or only the people of the country can hold them accountable.
Absolutely.
There is nobody coming from Senegal who will question Barrow, our things are not going right. Lot of funds were missing, lot of funds were misappropriated, and then all of this we have a question on it. Look at how they deal with the Jammeh's asset. That's what triggered all of this, to say Gambia against looted asset. You understand? They are against looting the Gambians. That's what they are. That's what they are all up to. Don't loot us. Don't destroy our economy. Use the economy, build the country. Use the economy, improve the lives of the people. That's what their aims and objectives are. That's their agenda.
Wow.
So there should be this agreement between them and every other Gambian. Look, these are the people who should hold us accountable. If they are not the one, then who? Who else will do?
Difficult.
Then when you come to article UDP primaries, I am going to encourage all those taking care of these primaries, the select committee, to do the needful. There'll be a grassroots engagement with regards to the flag bearer issue. So the grassroots also, they are waiting to tell them, we want this. So what they will say, we will get to know when we go to the grassroots meeting, which will start, I think, on the 5th. Sure. They will engage the grassroots across the country. And then, all the structures in the ward level, in the regional level, constituency level, they will engage all of them to hear what is their cry or to hear what they want. And that can also be another criteria when they are selecting the flag bearers. You understand? So these are some of the things I'm gonna encourage the select committee to work on this diligently, and then also discourage any other person that will want to request the executive list of constituencies, the executive list of wards, the executive list of the region. It is not the right of their duty.
Okay.
It is the select committee that have to request the list from the ward, from the constituency, from the region, to verify and as well. Not only to request it, but to verify. There is no other person who have the right to request the list of executive members at the ward level, the constituency level, the regional level. None of them have the right. It's only the select committee that have the mandate, that have the right to tell we want the list of the executive members in the various constituencies and in the wards and the regions. And when it comes, they have to verify it. They don't only need to rely on it, but they have to verify it before relying on it. Because it is going to determine, or it will be a tool that will advise them in terms of their during their grassroots engagement. So I'm going to encourage them to look into this critically and then to do the needful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Honorable Ebrima Ceesay. That actually brings us to the end of this exclusive interview with him, the chairman of the Combo East and the UDP. It's a pleasure to have you here, and actually thank you so much for actually coming and of course have this insightful conversation with us here. Thank you, and looking forward to having you probably after the primaries anyway.
Yeah, I will come back. Come back.
Thank you. Thank you, Binta Njie. She is the lady behind the camera, and of course our new technical director. Manako moy mam Binta nga xamantene moy mami Pa Ousmane Diouf la jaajafal for what you're doing. Keep up the momentum. Thank you, and to our beautiful audience that are watching, thank you so much for following Gambian Talents, even watching interesting programs. Bye bye, until I come here next time.